finally, engineering is getting pretty close with 4.5, and they have revealed a bit more information ever since last year. We did get to try the Arena Commander, we did get bits and pieces of information I think in the summer as well, but the most common idea was that you could repair with your multi-tool and use your spare fuses to keep the system operational and also managing ship's power. It's also to include life support systems. That obviously means fires inside the ship and extinguishers, as well as module damage and the possibility for something like power plant critical failure. Basically that means it turns into a time bomb. So yeah, on a big ship, engineering becomes a rather active role during combat. As an engineer or multifunctional crew member, you should always be prepared, like buying fuses and backup repair ammo. Perhaps storing them on ships at certain locations, perhaps on the storage crates, wherever. Understanding your ship is also quite vital, and the tools available on it. Not to mention backup modules for something like broken coolers. Failure to repair before a module has lost all of its durability results in a destroyed module, and it cannot be recovered with these hand tools. Perhaps it's even lost for good. Not to mention the possible loss of ship's weapons and having backups to swap them out after combat. Basically any kind of backup can be quite important, like ship's weapons, perhaps turrets weapons, torpedoes, missiles, whatever can be stored. The overall idea of engineering affects all ships, from single-seater light fighters to massive capital vessels. At the same time, it is intended to be less relevant for fighters, at least in the short term. One idea is for the MFDs to be used on fighters to do some maintenance, recover or restore parts of your fighter, while for large vehicles you have actual engineering rooms and tools to keep them afloat. These can also be useful on fighters, but might not be your first form of repair. Relays and fuses, these are considered the ship's weak points. That is what the backup is usually for. It's good to have several stored away in your backpack or on the ship somewhere. It provides first level recovery to the systems. They can sometimes be placed in unpleasant spots, so you might need to reach these weird spaces to swap them out. These can equally be removed to lose parts of power to your ship's systems. Ignoring them is not a good idea, as you might suddenly notice that you are crippled. One of the, perhaps not big, but one of the new dangers is fire. This can be caused in several ways. For example, lasers hitting directly your ship's modules have a small chance to start it. Alternatively, overheating can have the same effect here. For example, you limit your cooler's efficiency and focus on ship's firepower, thus creating a dangerous scenario for modules to overheat. One of the things meant to assist us is the component auto-shutoff, but it might not always be enough. And finally, fire can also be started from worn out modules, as the bigger the wear and tear, the higher the fire chance is. We have extinguishers to take care of it on most ships. There's also an option to vent it, but that is intended to be in space. It basically means we need to open doors between the source of fire and the exterior. All of these support actions are intended to extend the ship's survival time. It also does not mean that a single engineer can cover a large ship. Rather, according to ship size, one or more engineers might be required. Sometimes perhaps even none, as a player flying a starter might do their own maintenance. There's also the full rebalance for all ship's components and other items. This probably will be a good change, because if some of you do remember, when we got to fly the Hercules M2 in the Arena Commander and try engineering there, a single module required pretty much constant repair or it would degrade really fast. You didn't have time to do pretty much anything else. My biggest hope is that, especially during combat, these modules would survive longer than 30 seconds without repairing. One of the older ideas was also ship tuning to improve ship's characteristics and perhaps burn through modules faster. Sadly, nothing was revealed regarding this, but it represents a potential expansion of engineering gameplay if nothing else in the future. Not to mention armor values and their actual worth, since it's all coming with 4.5. Engineering represents great gameplay idea, but it's all about the execution. Not to mention we are the active testers for this game, so if there are any real issues, it's good to let the developers know, and perhaps they can start slightly improving it. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and thanks for watching.